takes a while. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Excuse me, I'm Teri holding your space. And here we have Gerald from Tarot Stash.
Hello.
And you may not know this, but we have a most important person here today. And Betsy, medium Betsy Palmer. And it's her birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Betsy. Oh
I
my
have
God.
my cake right behind me.
Oh my gosh, really?
It's a little crepe paper cake my sister sent me. She sent me birthday cake and a banner for a birthday party.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that is so sweet. Yeah, yeah. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm sorry about the kerfuffle. I accidentally wrote that it was going to be tomorrow when I went into StreamYard yesterday. And then today I wrote in our things after my daughter was kind enough to change the date for me while I was gone, that it was going to be in August. So anyway, it's time frames. What are you going to do, right? We're speeding up our time frame. We're jumping. So hello, Ness. Hello, Carl. Nice to see you here. Judy, welcome. Jenny, Bora. Hey, girl, how are you? So, yeah, it's so nice to see everything. Ness said, funny thing, I posted a personal question about timelines on Mark and Gerald call earlier, and this call is on the very topic. I love that, Ness. I love that. Yeah, so we were talking about, we actually scheduled this a month and a half ago, maybe? Long time ago.
Yep.
So, and then we got here today and we're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's, I think, when the best things come in, when you're doing it like 20 minutes before the show and kind of what spirit wants you to bring in. So, and we were kind of talking about the acceptance of our story. And that's what Gerald had written down. I don't remember that at all, Gerald, but I think that's the perfect topic and the perfect, thing to say.
Cool.
Yeah. So accepting our story and releasing any shame or grief with it, if you can, forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So, do our timelines affected when? I'm gonna star that, Carl, and we'll get to that. And we are gonna do personal questions. We just kind of wanted to explore this topic a little bit, and go with it because it is timely. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gerald.
So, thinking about acceptance of our story, it's like, because when we accept where we are and how we are in our story, we can be more part of it rather than battling against it. Mm-hmm. We become the hero in our story rather than the villain. And it's something to consider of as we're looking at our lives, where have I been, where am I now, and where am I going, and accepting that those in the past, that's what was. Right now, this is what is, and in the future, it's not here yet, so don't necessarily focus too much on it. So I think a lot of that is acceptance of our story is really placing ourselves for the most successful outcome. And by successful, I'm just meaning, successful for me is am I doing what the universe wants me to do? Am I living my most authentic self? So what do the two of you think of that?
So accepting of your story. To me, it's about stepping into ownership of being the creator of your reality. And I also frame it in reincarnation terms a lot. Like your soul's plan, your soul's intention for this lifetime, the lessons your soul wants to experience for your expansion and your growth and well-being. So the circumstances are the tools, the setup for the lesson, and feeling like you're partnering with your higher consciousness to learn the lessons you intended coming down here. For me, that's empowering instead of just being here, being at the mercy of the world. It's more empowering for me to say yes, to look at it as, yes, I've been through some things and it wasn't always easy, but I'm still here, I'm still learning, and my intention is to keep growing and keep achieving. Every morning I wake up, my eyes are open. That means I'm not finished yet. So what else can I do? Where do I want to go? What do I want to see? How do I want to be?
Mm-hmm. I like how you said this idea of acceptance of the lessons that I want to work on. And sometimes it's hard to accept the lessons that we don't remember. Well, I agreed to this. Not everybody agrees with the idea of that concept with reincarnation. However, if you look at it from the point of, all right, here I am. Am I going to accept where I am and learn from it? Or am I going to battle it the whole way? Because if you battle it the whole way, by the way, if you're struggling with it, that's normal. That's part of the lessons. Be nice to yourself. Have some compassion. But when we lean into it and go, all right, here's, what did I learn? What did I learn yesterday? What have I learned? What am I hoping to learn today? And then, repeat.
And even if it is just a one and done, how do you want to be in the world? Yeah. Who do you want the universe to recognize as you?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Betsy, when you were talking, I kept hearing that song, Hold Your Head Up. Yeah. Hold your head up. Because it's like holding our head up as we travel through this lifetime isn't always easy, or it hasn't been for me when I go through times of deep grief or trauma. And that's society, right? That's society's constructs that we kind of are adapted to because we're raised in society. So we, black is black, red is red, and death we don't talk about. We don't talk about being sick, and certainly we don't talk about mental illness if you have anxiety or something. I mean, that's not a story that we let out there. And kind of when we accept, oh yeah, I can feel this. I'm feeling anxious. What is this about? And you change it, like Gerald was talking about, the curiosity of it. Then when you question it and you're like, okay, so yeah, I do feel that. So what is that about? It changes your brain. You use a different part of your brain for curiosity than you do for anxiety or fear. So it changes not just your metabolism and the way you metabolize toxins in your body, but it also changes the endorphins and the way you feel about yourself. So it's not just emotional and spiritual, it's also a physical reaction, which is pretty exciting, I think, because for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, for a long time, I was always studying the emotional part of it and the spiritual part of it. And the more that I've looked at the physical part of it, the physicality, that's something that we don't give ourselves credit for, or we don't allow ourselves and give ourselves the gift of, because it is a gift to take care of your body. And lots of times we don't. So
well, and it's interesting that you say that, the physicality of because we do exist in this world.
Yeah.
And what we do in our physical environment has an opportunity to influence my acceptance of my story. if I, it's like dress for success, dress how dress for the job you want, and instead of the job that you have. Well, let's face it, we all have things in our environment that change our energy.
Yeah.
I like to wear this necklace because it makes me feel a certain way when I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
That's I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, and so and paying attention to that, and noticing that, I think that's part of the acceptance of the story. It's just like, what's the influence I have on it, instead of what's the universe doing to me. It's like, go ahead, Betsy.
No, I'm agreeing. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so, if we look at this as a dance, who's leading? And that's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's a lot of acceptance, because dance partners, you got to trust each other.
Yeah. You really do, don't you? You have to step into your power. Speaking of which, I feel like a lot of times when we're not doing our own dance and we're not feeling our body and our mind, our spirit at its full capacity, or even close to, it changes our voice. And I'm saying this with a hoarse voice because I had a big fever last week, but it's true. It's like, it does change your voice. You have a hard time. Oh, thank you, Teresa Ford, being authentically yourself. People don't like it. That's not your problem. Hooray. Yeah. And and using our voice. Sometimes we lose our voice because we were told that we said something wrong, or maybe we had a stammer or whatever. But we lose our voice, and we lose being able to speak clearly, and we lose being able to hear ourselves clearly too, which hurts.
Which is, I have to say, that's really sad when we lose our voice, because part of our story is to hear ourselves share what our story is. I think there's a lot of power in the words. So, I mean, Betsy, do you have something to add to that? I'm getting a nudge.
And there's just a lot. It's just a lot right now, because this is just so where I am right now, about responsibility and creating the world that you see, and who do you want to be, and working with anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's been a deep dive in all of those topics for me this year. Resentment. I've worked a lot on resentment, and the whole thing about not speaking up for me. As I decided to look at resentment, for me, I recognized it was my own failure to be able to express my needs and expectations, because I'm out there doing and trying hard. And, when I was a kid, I was told you work hard and your efforts will be recognized and rewarded. And no, it just isn't necessarily the way it is. You do the above and beyond, and the people are just like, oh, is that nice? She doesn't mind doing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let her do it. So, yeah.
Well,
this
and yeah,
speaks to me a lot about taking responsibility, about ownership of your story and the things that you make, the world that you see around you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really true.
Yeah.
And let's face it, sometimes I've made a wrong choice, and then I get to learn from those choices. So sorry, Teri, go ahead.
No, I love that. Somebody keeps coming to visit you over there, Betsy. You've got visitors coming in.
Oh, do I? Well, who do you see? What do you see? Because I don't see.
Oh, you just got all these light. The light is changing.
Yeah, the light's shifting quite a bit.
Yeah, your light is going crazy. So I think it's interesting sometimes now. I've been traveling a lot lately, and today I had the opportunity to go to the DMV, and I also had this opportunity yesterday, and to sit for 3.5 hours, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at that, or I'm sitting on a plane for 10 hours, and I'm looking at the flight and the time, And then I think, well, what if I change this story? What if, I've got 25 people ahead of me, and let's say only 18 show up? What does that look like? And that's basically what happened. All of a sudden, these people stopped showing up. And it was like, I was like, okay, that's good. And now we're down to 11 people in front of me. And, but changing our story. And then it was really nice when I finished at the DMV, and, the people there were incredible. Like, they took time with each person. They looked at you. There were only 2 women working for like 50 people while I was there. And you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're doing such a remarkable job here. You took your time, you were kind, and really took good care of me. So anyway, that's my story today.
Well, and I think it goes back to that idea as something I wrote down, and part of it is it's a choose your own adventure. How am I going to respond to this? Am I going to argue with it? Am I going to say yes? Am I going to stand still? All of those are viable options. They have different repercussions. Yeah. And so, I'm not saying one is better than the other, just the results are different. And so I like that idea of, it's like, okay, am I going to accept this, or am I going to argue with it? Because that energy exchange is very different. So
yeah, definitely. And you guys, we're going to do questions. So go ahead and start putting your questions in, personal questions. It can be regarding your story, or Betsy is a very famous medium. She does seances and whatnot, and all sorts of beautiful readings. So whatever your heart desires today, go ahead and talk about it. I do want to post what Ness had to say. She goes, I wrote this on Teri's timeline recording last night. I really felt the timeline jump Sunday. And then she says, in my heart space, that experience felt true for me. Right, Ness? I love that, because it's what's true for you. And that could be part of your story then. But I do feel like we did a big shift, and being light workers, that's what we're here for, right? To change the light on the planet, to change the vibration of the planet. Not the planet, but those on it, and our experience on it, our story on it. And that's shifting everything. So people for years have said, oh, the poles are going to shift completely, and it's going to be chaos and nuts. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be crazy like that. I think we've shifted that timeline. It won't be there. Yeah. Oh, there's one more part of the message.
Yeah, which is, she reposted it right after that. So the Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, I really felt the rubber band pull back, winding up, and then Sunday, boom, it was released and pushed forward. Right, Ness? Friday and Saturday were heavy, like it was like, it's one of those days that you feel like Godzilla, like you're coming out of the ocean and you weigh 30,000 tons and you're just moving really slow. But it was yeah.
Hypnicity said full moon energy got me this week.
Yeah, definitely. And Carl had something to say, and which he says it's not going to be his question, but there it is.
Teri, after I listened or watched your video yesterday about the whole change thing with our campaign, it resonated with me so strongly. And I remember walking away thinking, this is our country's opportunity for the critical mass to decide which way it wants to go. And that either way it goes is going to be groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
The way it goes, it's going to be such a dramatic shift in either direction. I know which way I'm hoping it goes. I'm a woman. I'm hoping for equality and inclusivity, but it's going to be really telling. It's going to be, I find it exciting.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I think Kamala can pick anybody she wants. I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit right now because I feel like people are going to be behind her. And, I'd love to see her just go for it with whoever she's going to pick. I also feel like, oh, I don't know what I was going to say then, but thank you. I'm glad that resonated with you. It did for me too. I know what I wanted to say. So there's been a lot of talk, you guys, on having 2 planets or perhaps 2 different dimensions. Will some of us go to one dimension where Kamala wins and we go forth in service to others, which is actually service to self, right? Because that means we all raise our vibration and loving and compassionate community. Or will it be this other community that's thinking more about business, thinking more about protection and more fear-based? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. People, that's where they're at, and that's okay. There's no judgment there. But is this the split, the dimensional split? I was thinking about that while you were talking about that, Betsy. Is this it? Carl said, do our personal timelines, was that affected when Biden's backing out? In some ways, sure, Carl. Sure, that's going to affect us. Only you can say how much that's going to affect you. But like we were just talking about, if this is a dimensional split on the planet, if that's what happens.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about, 2 timelines jumping, or separating. I have not had an opportunity to watch your video. I've been busy, and Jeffrey was off yesterday. So I chose to spend time with Jeffrey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and this wasn't a show about that either, but yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. You know what? There's not enough time to watch everybody's stuff.
Oh yeah.
But, so yeah. All right.
I think, I just want to go to that idea as we talk about acceptance of our story. Part of this takes a bit of courage to be willing to see things as clearly as we can at the time we start to look at our story and to look at them in an authentic way, the best we can where we are. Sometimes we need the help of a counselor, religious support, our mentors, things like that. And so it takes courage to be willing to do that and to recognize the spots that we have, the areas that it's not so good. Well, gee, I wish I hadn't have done that. And this is my lecture of is everybody give yourself some compassion and give yourself some time. I am a firm believer that people want to hear the truth. They want to hear the truth. And if somebody gives you a gem of truth, sit with it for a while, because sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, except we at a foundational level, I know when I hear something that's truthful, it really gives me pause to go, huh. And so it takes courage to sit with it for a while. So I think that's a big part in our story. And we have to do check-ins with ourselves. I'm not the same person I was yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know for me, many years ago, people would say something about the person that I was, and I wouldn't understand it at all. And now some of those things are crystal clear. But yeah, and don't be upset with yourself if you're not getting it. It just means it's not here yet. Or I had a mentor who said, if you're asking the same question over and over again and not getting an answer, it's because you're asking the wrong question, because the answer already exists and there is no gap of time between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
Profound. Yeah, I love that, Betsy. That's amazing. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to get some questions here started. Sorry, you guys. If I miss anybody, just be sure to yell. Carl says, my Elvis lookalike guide won't tell me what I need to figure out myself, so I won't have to come back and do this again. My departed friends also nudging my head. What exactly do I need to do for my soul path? Well, that's a small ask, Carl.
And remember, Carl, this is an online free reading. You can contact any of us for more in-depth private reading.
I was going to say, man, that's a lot to unpack right there, and talk about responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to opt to go with my. I'm gonna use a deck for this one, and it's going to be the card for this moment. It's not going to be the all-encompassing, I'm answering everything you're asking about. This is going to be the message that you're offered via this vehicle in this moment.
Carl posted later, they're upset I'm unable to collect money.
Oh.
Well, there. Well, I'm going to show you the card that flew out for me, and it flew out decisively. The Lovers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that must be my muggle friend. They always know. Yeah, so I have the Lovers. So the feeling that I'm getting is to start to see your relationship with those that you rely on for inspiration, advice, and guidance as your lover, more than someone that has authority above and beyond, that this is your equal, that this is co-creating together, to not see this relationship as someone that's withholding information from you with some kind of an agenda, to really, really embrace your responsibility in the way you communicate with these beings. That's what I got on that one.
I got, Carl, I understand that money is an issue. I've read on money things for you multiple times. I have the Strength card, which is talking about making sure that you are persevering. If what you're doing isn't working, then try to do something different. Ask a different question or approach it differently. But I also have, Carl, part of what I have is I have 2 7s. Carl, I would encourage you to pay attention to what is the number 7 for you. It's slightly beyond mid-range of the 1 to 10. So you're working on things, but part of it is what are you planting? Where are you putting your energy? And what's going to be growing? So as far as your Elvis lookalike guide won't tell you what you need to figure out, so you don't have to come back. Well, your Elvis lookalike guide isn't telling me, and actually is being very clear that I'm not the one to ask the Elvis looking guide. Ask a different question, Carl. And so I'm hoping that that's helpful. So that's what I have for you, Carl.
I'm getting the ask a different question too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a different question too. So I think you're working with manifesting, right, Carl? Right now, and your guide, which Archangel Michael came up as your protector, you got to take care of something. There's something that's not being taken care of. And then they were showing me, like, and a lot of times they'll show me a road or a path, and there's this path, and it starts over here and comes up, and it's like something's backed up there. But then things will start flowing freely, but something's been backed up. I don't know if it's paperwork or if it's energy, or all the same, but something's kind of backed up. So they said that. Yeah. They said yeah. So yeah, there's something backing up, but and it's kind of like you need to get it oiled. So start with something that you're working on, and that might be meditating, that might be self-care, how you're taking care of yourself. So
the picture that you drew, did it have 7 circles on it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Pay attention to the number 7, Carl.
Yeah.
3 7s right there.
Yeah.
So,
but there's also something just in the wording of the first part of this. Won't tell me what I need to figure out myself. They won't tell me what I need to figure out myself. So I don't have to come back. That's your contract. You have to figure it out yourself so you don't come back.
Yeah. And it's always your choice. It's always free will, Carl, if you want to come back or not. I mean, you can stay on the other side and learn. Coming to the earth is a gift. It's a huge gift because of the density here and free will.
It's a lot of opportunity to work on your story.
Yeah, huge growth potential here, Carl. So you're in the happy spot. You just got to figure out what's blocking.
Yeah, it's like you're just on the cusp. It's like the engines are lit. They're fully firing. You're just waiting for the guy with the little flashlights to tell you which way to steer the plane.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good, yeah, you're past the halfway point. That's a good thing to remember. That's true.
Yeah. And everything's going to start flowing again. Let's see. All right. Thanks, dear. Judy is asking, having just retired, does Spirit have a message for me at this time? Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, Spirit has a message for you, Judy. The message is start planning all of the things that you want to do. Make sure that you care for your emotional well-being, because it's a huge shift from what you were doing. And remember that you have the ability to balance things. This is the Temperance card. Mix things together in a different way. So it's like, and this is a nice little card. There's opportunities for you, Judy, to do different things, or things that you were wanting to do, things that are going to make you happy. Try them out. And now's the time to, I'm going to try this for a week, and then you do it for 2 days and you don't like it. Try it for one more day and then decide. So, but it looks good. Spirit says, decide and plan big, plan bigger than what you expected. So that's what I have for you, Judy.
I got kind of the same direction. I have Regulus here, the Heart of the Lion, and this card is talking about decision making and creativity, and where does your passion lie? So what I'm seeing is just like a wide open vista. There's no definition, but what I'm seeing because of that is it's open possibility, that there's nothing defined yet. There's no limitations. There's no preconceived notions about what you are able to do. If there's any kind of size or shape to it, it's just all available to you.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying art, Betsy. It's what
Art?
she's going to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see absolutely zero limitation or caution.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So Judy, I kept hearing that song, Lay Lady Lay or whatever it's called, but it's Play Lady Play. So it's time to play. And I love that you want to study art, that's what you're interested in, because I got a transformation.
Ooh.
So your wings, you're growing your wings, and look at all the orbs all over that. And star consciousness. This is going to be something that you're going to be divinely guided to, but look at all the gold coming in. I mean, you're just being showered with that beautiful golden light. So, and that's where art comes in, doesn't it, Judy? It's like from above or within, whatever you want to call it. But you're definitely getting that in. This is divine law. So you've done it before in other lifetimes. Yeah, spiritual, very spiritual, Judy. That's beautiful. So play, lady, play.
Well, and you could call this the art card in the tarot deck. It's the temperance card. It's about making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Whether that be visual arts, music, jewelry, cooking, whatever. Do it with your full being. That's great.
Why did I just hear the word photography? Somebody just threw that at me.
Photography. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that.
It's an easy jumping off point, no matter which way you want to go. I mean, everybody has a camera on their phone nowadays. So it's like an instantaneous play opportunity.
Oh, and Judy said used to.
Yeah.
Start with what you know and then expand it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
And isn't that part of accepting your story? What do you know? Use it as a resource to help you adjust your story.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, I'm just kind of cleaning this up real quick. And then we have Sally. Salrods, I would love a message from my mother, Marjorie, who transitioned in 2006. Wondering if she's found her voice. Aw.
I didn't think I was going to be able to get any mediumship today, but this surprised me pretty fast. She said, found my voice. Her goal is to never need to speak again. She found human voice so limiting, and that even when she told her truth at a very young age, it's like a hammer hitting a nail flush to the wood in one hit. So nail here, that's her trying to tell her story. Hammer, boom, one shot, flattened, completely level with the ground. So she's saying right now she's planning on finding alternative methods of being in her truth, and she hopes to never need to go through that cycle of speaking without any power or any receivership. The word, it's interesting. It's English.
Yeah.
The audience, okay, she said the audience was not well schooled in listening. She needs to find a smarter audience.
That makes a lot of sense
No.
because I am Betsy, going along with you. It's like she's doing some planning on what she is doing with her voice because her voice was not appreciated and it was extremely limiting because she's ready to go out there and do new things. She's learning how to do that now. So it's really, really powerful. Of course, she was a
a
brilliant
brilliant woman.
Yeah.
Of course she was. Yeah.
Well, that's why they tried to shut her up.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh,
I
yes.
guess I should have muted myself on that one. I know I get really
No.
loud on these things. Sorry, guys.
No, I love it.
Everybody's ears are okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Mhm.
She came in with a rolling pin, a big wooden rolling pin, holding it out like this. She's talking about a heartbreak. Ain't nothing but a heartbreak. That song, Sally. Um, um, but she says, my heart isn't going to ache anymore. I think if I remember right, science and math at Columbia. Yeah, she's a boss lady. She's totally a boss lady. She's mentioning her change and transition, and she's thanking you. Um, Archangel Azrael here, who's one of my favorite angels, and says, "Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change." But I feel like she's kind of getting helping on the other side with this as well. And there's a loved one in heaven. I got that card too. So I feel like she was well received there. She's got her crowd. And I think if she had any sassy friends, I feel like they're there. Some lots of humor. And then I get the miracle of prayer. So she hears you. She hears you and what you have to say, Sally.
She said,
She really was in math and science at Columbia. Can you imagine how much of her work she was not given credit for?
well, yeah, and part of what I was feeling, Betsy, is like she's working in the beyond the quantum field to be able to use her voice, and that's so her voice is science and math.
Yeah,
She's removed the limitations.
I'm getting that too, Gerald. Like part of her intention for this soul incarnation was to help further this humankind, to help kind of push him along a little bit, like you're talking about the quantum field and all that kind of stuff, and the frustration of not being able to be heard just because people refused to listen to her, just out and out. Nope, not listening to you. Nope. That she's decided to work in other fields and other ways of transferring information and assistance to us, other ways, other realms.
Nice.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of coding over there. I don't know if you can see the ones and the O's, or the zeros, but she's just major coder.
Yeah, I'm getting that same thing too. Like there's just like some line, like it's not an electric line. It looks more like a DNA line, but it's something going from some other realm that we don't understand and being directed to Earth, and it's happening subliminally. Projects from somewhere else.
Yeah, and Sally said yes, kind of same for me, and it's like, duh. Yeah, sorry, that was my out loud voice. Well, yeah, that's why she was your mother, and that's why you were a good. You're a good daughter because you get it, you understand it. So,
Leah, go ahead and throw it in there, honey, and we'll try to get to you. So, yeah, she's amazing, Marjorie. Love that. Thank you, Marjorie, and thank you, Sally. Okay, hypnicity. Any messages from my grandma Rosa? She lived in Switzerland and you barely knew her. Do you guys feel like she's reincarnated? Or are you still feeling her out there?
I want to say, Nalani, I feel like I've read on Grandma Rosa before. It feels like. I'm not sure she may have reincarnated, because I'm not really getting anything, to be honest with you.
So that's interesting because Switzerland, this is a place where people didn't believe in afterlife. They were one and done people, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting, is like this blank of this afterlife business wasn't my thing. If you can see where she is, Teri, I can't even tell.
Yeah.
I mean, usually I can see if somebody's floating around kind of in oblivion in like a in-between world or something.
I think she may be reincarnated hypnicity. She raised 2 sons alone. My dad's dad died when he was 5. Oh, bless her. It feels like she's, if not in your family, somewhere around hypnicity. So that she's not, for me, it feels like she's already flown back.
Well, it's interesting because I was pulling out some cards, and I have an ace, I have a 2, and I have a 3. So it's all part of a plan.
Yeah. I'm asking all my decks who wants to represent, and they're all like, "No, you don't have a deck for that, hon."
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Jeez.
She ran a cheese shop. She's my kind of girl then. Let me tell you, she did it by herself, and she's ran a cheese shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got her eyes, hypnicity.
What, are you holding them in a jar on a shelf or something like that? Sorry, that was bad humor.
No, but it's kind of funny. It's mediumship humor. Yeah. Are you getting messages from her, hypnicity? What do you get from her?
So the minute you guys said eyes, I got somebody's third eye looking around going, "What is all this crap?" Somebody was looking through a telescope or something, like, "Can you believe this mess? My God."
Hypnicity doesn't get anything from her. She gets nothing. Nothing.
Nothing, honey.
There you go.
Yeah.
And by the way, hypnicity, if you're not getting anything, it's okay. And I would say, I would encourage you, if you want to honor her, include her in your ancestor rituals. Put a picture of her or her name or something like that in a place where it's the energy, because I'm a firm believer that our ancestors, they want to be remembered.
Yeah.
Say their name. You don't have to get a connection. Go ahead, Betsy. I see you doing something, but just say their name, because it's good. If it makes you happy, say their name.
If nothing else, just tell her what your spiritual beliefs are and what you're doing about all this stuff now.
Yeah.
Recognize she had it rough, and maybe it was a kind of a young soul kind of a lifetime that was about the physicality, the difficulty of the physicality of being here as a human being. We have the luxury in our age of having all this time, free time, to contemplate ourselves and to look inward and to spend so much time thinking about ourselves. A lot of people from very recent times did not have the luxury of that kind of time, that they were so busy trying to figure out how to stay alive till tomorrow, right?
And taking care of children.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not to mention the Holocaust and the wars. And
I will do that. Hear from my mom's mom a lot. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Really interesting. Okay. Next, Teresa Ford. Can I get a message from my dad, Grant, or brother, Jeff, or daughter, Natasha? Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know that I can unwind that.
Do you want to pick one?
And if anybody else has something, Teri, if you go.
No, I'm not. You go ahead.
Yeah, to me, it just looks like DNA strand all wrapped up in front of me. It's like your guides would be willing to step in and say something, but it's too much for me to untangle.
Okay, I'm looking at this. The DNA strands is a very interesting way to look at it, because what I'm doing is like I'm looking at all three of them as a DNA strand, and sort of like what do these people have a message for you? Not one specifically. They're telling you, make some plans, check to make sure that you are, if you have a bit of if you're wanting to take a trip or something to inspire you, you know, do the planning of it, plan big, and dream big with that. I mean, because I have the Two of Wands, which is do planning, the Seven of Cups, which is all about, there's a lot of possibilities with it, and then the Six of Wands. The message is that whatever you're going to do is going to be successful. Oh, you got the seven too as well. There's another
Seven
seven.
kind of a day.
Yes.
And I got 7 ones, Roman ones, or I.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would definitely, you know, do some planning. That's the genetic thing that I'm feeling. So
Yeah. And they're together, but they're not alone. They want you to know. So everybody's taken care
Wow.
of.
Yeah, I got him with all her guides too.
Yeah.
Like just like came like a battalion.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the ants go marching one by one.
yeah, it's almost like
one.
there's a unity in them to being together. There's a
Yeah.
strength in that.
There,
So,
and I'll show you the cards. Yes, I got a 7. It was the 7 of Swords. And then I got also, and I was like, wait, 7, is this for the other people that had 7? So clarify. And so they gave me the Queen of Cups. So,
nice.
and so this came together for me as, be careful the memories that you're taking away with you. Be careful the memories. You know, you may be thinking of things in one way, but is that really going to serve you? And here we're talking about ownership of your story.
yeah.
What's your story? And to be careful, because you really want to be this. Yeah, you want to be this very peaceful being who's in a balanced state, who understands themselves and why they feel the way they feel, and to not let their feelings about the past affect other people in the world who have absolutely no idea of who you are, where you're from, or anything. Just the way you interact with the world. Don't let what affected you affect them, because they're going to be real confused about that.
Yeah. Yeah. They just
and
kind of nudging. Oh, go ahead.
no, I thank you for that, Betsy, because I think my message, the message that I got, is about accepting your story, how you look at it, make some plans, dream big, whatever it is that you want to do. And you can do all of those things if you want, because you are going to be successful. That's the thing. So, you know, plan your story, change your story.
Yeah. Every day's a new day, honey. So we send you a lot of love. Natasha passed away this past year.
So sorry.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of grief there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But every day's a new day, honey, and they're showing that 1, 1, 1, 1. It's like open the door, it's a new day. So, yeah. Love that hypnicity. There's a thread that runs through each of them to you, Teresa. That's beautiful, honey.
It's a nice visual.
Yeah. Let's see. We did that one. Lori, beautiful Lori Hudsinger. I had the same experience, Ness. When I got home Sunday night, I saw the news report. My first thought was, no wonder I was feeling so much energy. So that was a comment.
Yep.
And then Ness has a question. I felt an energy shift this past weekend. What do you feel unfolding for me with this energy shift?
Good Lord. I got the Two of Wands again. This energy shift is this is your time to plan differently, to plan something. Use this energy to, yeah, I'm starting to get really, use this time to plan what it is that you want to do. This energy shift, it's given you more power behind your thoughts and your creative endeavors. It's important for you to, Ness, to really figure out what is it that you want to do, and then start making a plan, because there's something that you are needing to start. I have the Page of Pentacles. Ness, if you're writing another book, great. Be willing to have it take some time, and it's going to be successful. It's the Three of Cups. Don't overcomplicate it. It's part of your story, and use that energy shift, to unfold the desired outcome. I think it works. You're still working on the first one. Great. Use this energy shift to invigorate it. So thank you, Ness.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
Have you gone yet, Betsy? Do you want to go?
I can. I'm looking around and I've been given all the information I need, but it's not for cards to be shown, which is kind of interesting. But what your guides are trying to communicate to me is that everything is in order, that this is going to be a time to rely on yourself. Okay, they're going to let me show you this. Full moon, culmination, that things are coming together. But this is, I'm seeing it as a individualistic, kind of a solitary endeavor right now. It feels like I'm hearing the word edit. So whatever it is you're preparing, it's pretty close to being done, to complete before you start editing. Complete, sit back, give yourself a little breathing space, then go into the edit. Whatever this plan is that you're working on, that it just needs a little bit review, but everything is in place. Everything is ready to go. You've just got like the last couple of words of intention to complete it before you go into an edit mode. Not sure if that makes sense.
Yeah, complete first and then edit. Yeah, that makes sense. So they're showing me a new world, Ness, and that song, "It's a Whole New World." I can't remember who sang that, but and then they're showing me the central sun. So not just the sun, but central sun, and that song is coming on, rolling down the river. So it's time for things to start moving.
Nice.
Yeah, really beautiful. Aladdin. Yeah, Aladdin. That's right, Aladdin. I forgot about them. One of my favorite costumes of all time, Jasmine.
There you go.
Okay. Let's see. T-Lin. When spirits guide us, do they take into account our human emotions and stresses, like recent political stress or experiencing a loss? Oh, T-Lin, that is such a sweet question. Well, you got a grandma or somebody behind you saying, honey, if they're not taking into it, you tell them to. So you got a boss lady there that's taking care of business. It feels like some of them do at times, but for some of them, our emotions are so otherworldly. Some of your team, your spirit team, that they haven't had to experience emotions in such a long time in this type of density that it is a little foreign to them.
What I want to say about this is that say you've arrived at a moment and your spirit guides kind of open the window and they look at you and they're like, well, there she is in the moment, or there they are in the moment. And they're experiencing what they're experiencing in that moment, the outcome of the situation. And I want to say that they see it now as a choice point for you about what you're choosing to go forward from there. If how the situation / lesson is impacting you, and what do you choose from here? It's less about, oh, she's feeling sad, we won't give her the lesson, let's wait because they're feeling bad. It seems more to me like we've arrived at the intended place that we've contracted for, and here is their opportunity of choice. I hope that makes some sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it lines up to what I'm feeling as well. It's like they may have an awareness of, but they're going to continue to do what they need to do, regardless of how you're feeling. They understand, like Betsy so well, said so well. It's part of the accepting your story. Are you going to use those emotions to help shift you or not? So,
Yeah, she says that would be her grandmother, Rosina. Recently, grandfather and her showed up around me. Women in the family are more assertive, though. Yeah. T-Lin, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's time. We've got one more left. Do you guys have time, or
I do for one more. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Leah, I am trying to learn what form of art will yield me income. I do many things, but what do you see? Ooh.
What I want to say about this is what I'm hearing is it's a lot more about marketing than production. And where you see your role in the marketing and the selling, to being an artist and creating a piece is an amazing gift. And being an artist that can recreate multiple pieces is an amazing gift, which provides you absolutely nothing on income without the appropriate marketing channels. So what I'm hearing is it's a little bit less about the actual product as you forging some networking, making friends with galleries, or where it is that you see your items being offered to sell, and what can you do to stand out in the field. They're showing you, for somebody's saying Etsy to me right now, and I'm here and I'm saying, want to say, how will you distinguish yourself from the thousands and thousands of options in a field like that? They seem to be leaning away from e-commerce a little bit and more into personal commerce. I don't know where your location is, but if there's a community of people that value handmade options, to me, it seems like they're wanting to indicate fewer pieces of higher quality and therefore higher price tags. That is what I am seeing, and that's what I'm wanting to communicate at this moment for you about what are your plans for your role in the marketing.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Betsy, that's spot on what I got, because you're going to keep doing all of the things that you need to do because you're still learning and you're still foraging. But that idea of marketing, you have to be able to market yourself passionately. You have to be able to show that you have a unique perspective. And that's a key thing, because how are you going to, Betsy, when you said you got to distinguish yourself from others, I have the hanged one. So you're different, be able to show your different point of view. And because the marketing is the Knight of Wands. You got to get out there. You got to be passionate about it. It is part of the creative process, because you can't just create it, because if nobody knows you're doing it, they can't buy it. But I like that.
Hey, is it Evanston or Evanston? I did an art booth there one weekend, made $5,000. So
Wow.
you're in the right place.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I also have the Eight of Pentacles, so it's showing up and keep doing the things. But I love this idea of, is like you said, fewer things of higher quality is a key thing.
Yeah.
So they were showing me this circle, which is the circle of Atlas, right? How he holds up the universe, and that pyramid with it. So I don't know why they were showing me that, because that's this necklace that I wear all the time, you guys. And and that I love what you guys had to say, because the pyramid, Reverend Saul used to talk to us about this all the time. The flatter out the pyramid goes, the lower the dimension. But the steeper the pyramid is, the higher the dimension. And that's what they're saying. You want to be a very high dimension of what you're doing, which is exactly what you guys are saying. So, yeah. And I don't know if you're working with jewelry or pyramids or Atlas or whatever with that, but there is, it's kind of like almost sacred geometry with it. So.
And I'm going to also say, consider the size of the pieces that you make small, because people can consume small. They can put small in lots of places.
Yeah.
They can't put a 12 foot by 18 foot canvas somewhere.
Yeah.
But they can find a spot for a 5x6 painting.
Yeah. Oh, it says channeling maybe sculpture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Beautiful, Leah. Yeah. And something that worked with that sacred geometry is what I'm seeing, but you do you, because you're going to be guided to do you. You're so together. You're so in that light, Leah. Smart, Gerald. Small.
Yeah. Living in a tourist town, that's a big thing. There's an art gallery right directly across from mine that has a lot of art glass in it, and they have to ship everything they sell. Yeah. Every single thing they have to ship.
Yep. Small.
Can't imagine. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. And Gerald, thank you. And Betsy, happy birthday, beautiful lady.
Thank
you so much for being here. We really acknowledge you and your grace and your gifts. So
thank you very much.
Much love. Yeah. Yeah. Be sure and like and subscribe to all the readers, and hit that bell so you'll know when we're on. And it's a good thing to go back and do that every so often to all your favorite readers, because the algorithm is not always our friend. Anyway. All right, everybody. Well, all right. Oh, Anja, I love that. Yeah. Make smaller versions of the large pieces. If they can't afford a large $5,000 painting, make smaller versions and sell lots.
Studies are a good thing. You can do it. You can sell a lot of your studies, your practice pieces.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, everybody. Well, have a great one, and happy birthday to all the Leos.